Hi everyone, my name is Claus Mikosch, I'm the author of the Little Buddha books, and I'd like to read you the first chapter of the second part of this series called Looking for Love.
Powerful rays of sunlight touched his skin and a pleasant warmth spread through his body. From head to toe, from his fingertips all the way to his heart. He inhaled deeply and felt his surroundings awaken. After a long winter rest, nature was stretching its sleepy limbs. The branches were dancing in the wind, birds were singing, and a wonderful scent filled the fresh air. The whole country was flourishing. 2 years had passed since the little Buddha had returned from his first journey. He fondly remembered all the different experiences he'd had and the new friends he'd made, and sometimes he imagined what it would be like to travel the world again one day. Yet memories and dreams took up very little space in his day-to-day life. Most of the time, he was fully immersed in the present. He sat on the flat stone underneath his big old Bodhi tree and meditated almost every day and night. He dedicated his time to the inner stillness and observed the uniqueness of every moment with great passion. The little Buddha was happy with his life, happier than ever before in fact, because he wasn't constantly alone anymore. Before, his old friend the farmer had been his only visitor and he could only stop by on rare occasions. But then more and more strangers had started to appear under the Bodhi tree. They traveled from far away to ask him for advice. News had spread that the little Buddha was able to help others find happiness. And indeed, with very few words, he succeeded in making people feel better almost every time. He patiently listened to everyone and tried to put himself in their position. Often, he would tell one of the stories he had heard on his travels and was delighted when the story put a smile on his visitor's face. Despite his young age, many called him a wise man, and some even believed that he had special powers. But the little Buddha didn't really understand what they meant. After all, he simply shared his experiences and his time with them. He didn't have a magic wand that would make their problems go away. Even so, hardly a week went by without someone coming to see him in search of happiness. Until now, he had always found a good answer to the many questions people brought to him. But then one day, a man arrived who looked even sadder than all the others. "Please, you must help me." The little Buddha observed him carefully. The man was sitting in front of him with slouched shoulders and tears in his eyes. "What's the matter?" "I can't find a woman," the man sobbed. "But why do you need a woman?" the little Buddha wondered. "To experience true love. Without a woman, that's not possible." "Are you sure? Because you can also love your parents or your neighbors, the birds or the trees." "Yes, but it's not the same. To love properly, I need a woman." The man was totally disheartened. "All of my friends are already married, all but me," he complained. "I also want to meet a woman, someone I can share my life with. I don't want to spend the rest of my days alone. Please, help me." The little Buddha didn't know what to say. The whole love thing seemed to be much more complicated than he had thought. "I'm afraid I don't know how to help you," he said after a while. "I haven't had any experience with women and true love yet." "But there must be something you can do, I beg you." The man sounded desperate. The little Buddha felt pity for the man, but how was he able to help him without really understanding the problem himself? How could he offer advice about love when he wasn't exactly sure what true love is? They sat in silence for some time. Then the little Buddha had an idea. "Maybe there is something I can do." A glimmer of hope appeared on the man's face. "But you will have to wait for your answer for a few months." "A few months? Why so long?" "Because first, I myself need to learn about true love." The little Buddha had become curious. And there was only one way to satisfy his curiosity. He had to set out and ask life in person. He wanted to discover the meaning of true love, not just for his visitor, but also for himself. And he hoped he would learn how to find it. The very next morning, he packed his bag with some food and a warm blanket and said goodbye to the big old Bodhi tree. He closed his eyes, took a deep breath, and embarked on a journey for the second time in his life. It was spring. Perfect time for a new beginning.